Let's work with borders and background colors for this sheet. If you're following along, it's in the exercise file titled Borders in Chapter 2. Now, we already have some background colors here for these cells, but now I want to make the actual units sold stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to click and drag to highlight all of this data. And now, on the Home Ribbon tab, if I hover my mouse over the fill color, I'm going to click the down arrow. And here I can see my theme colors. I can hover my mouse over all the choices, and it's going to change to give me a preview of what it looks like. Now don't forget, if I do choose a color that's much too dark, I can always change the cell color to be white so that it stands out a bit more. I can also click more colors down here. I can choose from any color in this palette, or I can click Custom and put in the RGB or hex value. Maybe I need to match it to my company's logo. I'll click Cancel here. I'll choose a color, and then to see it, I do need to click away because right now the cells are highlighted, so they're a completely different color. Here it is. Something else that I might want to do is underline certain text or cells to make them stand out a bit more. Let's take this Units Sold cell. I'm going to click inside the border area, and I'll click the down arrow, and here's where I can choose what kind of cell border I want. For example, just a bottom border or all borders. And if I have multiple cells selected, it's going to apply to all of those cells. I can even draw a custom border and choose the color if I wanted to. I'm going to choose thick bottom border to make it stand out. And like before, I can't see the border, but it's there. As soon as I click away, there it is. In fact, I can click and drag across all of these header cells and click this button again to apply that thick bottom border to those cells also. Something else that we can do, maybe once this is all done and we want to make it look a little bit cleaner to email it out to somebody, we can get rid of all these grid lines that you can see. I'm going to change to the Page Layout tab. All the way in the middle of the screen, I can see where it says Grid Lines, and if I uncheck View, all of those lines go away, and I'm left with the white background. Now, I could change that background if I wanted to. While we're still in this Page Layout tab all the way on the left-hand side, here's where I can change the theme of the sheet. In fact, again, I can hover my mouse over it. These changes aren't being applied, they're just being previewed, but you can see everything change while I'm moving my mouse over the theme. And this is going to be what's in those main colors when you choose a palette. So right now in this color theme, we're used to seeing these basic office themes, but these are where you can choose other palettes. The last thing I might want to do if I'm sending this out is maybe brand or watermark this with my company's logo. Now I'm going to change to the Insert Ribbon tab. There's a lot of things we can insert here, such as charts and maps and pivot tables, and we'll be talking about those. But right now, I'm interested in just a picture. And I can click Pictures and choose to insert a picture from this device, which is going to allow me to browse my computer. That's where my logo is. Here's my Assets folder, and I'll choose my Red 30 logo and click Insert. It's going to dump it in just as it is. And like across all Office products, to resize it, I can click on any of the dots in the corner and drag it inwards or outwards to make it bigger or smaller. And I can also drag it anywhere I want on this sheet. I'll just put it in a spot that I think makes it look nice and out of the way. And there's a finished sheet. If I do want to put those grid lines back, don't forget we got there by changing to the Page Layout tab. Here's where it says Grid Lines in the middle of the page, and I can click View, and it's going to put those grid lines back. It has no bearing on my image. As you can see, the grid lines aren't over the image, they're under the image, so they're not going to get in the way there. But now, it looks a lot more polished with those borders and shading.